Hey, what's good? It's Cammygbr. We are here. Before we start this video today, I believe this will be out on Wednesday, I believe. Just to say real quick, this Saturday, come see me on this channel live. I'm finishing off the Nuzlocke I've been doing. That's honestly I actually started this, like, the idea and the concept of it was built from February, and it's end of August we get it done. So I've had like the footage, like recording it, editing it, and like for what is about 24 hours worth of footage, cutting it into 45-minute to hour-long episodes, and putting battlers in the place, and adding. I've done so much fucking work. We finally get it done. August 29th, Saturday. I think live for about 7 p.m. We might do something beforehand, a little warm up or whatever. Then we get right into it. I know it's not exactly battle rap related, but it's battle rap related, and I'm keeping this, as much as I want to do other things, I want to keep it within the context of battle rap, whether it's do stuff with battle rappers or a battle rapified version. So it's always going to be that. But this Saturday, all the hard work comes to an end, being the Pokemon Master. So with that being said, let's get right to this video.
I must not give in to these fantasies of weakness. Doubtless this is some charm laid on me by an evil shaman, evil sorcerer. Only the chase has meaning. It's meaning.
Keep running. Look, I'm in the outback where it's spooky. Wildcats still pursue me like owls do to the rats and the clouds do when I'm moody. Proud dads to Suzuki's, you backed out and amuse me. I'm God hair from I tear your whole crown flat. From I'm in the outback with no neighbors, giant snakes in the gators. You feel fear in your veins ever since the moment you came in. Heat raises the stakes and baked meat is the fragrance. I reign here from a day to doubt that. From I'm in the outback with my chest out, I'm the best out. Who's next? Put you through the test, do to chew your neck out. When you eat through tube and bed bound, from I eat mountains for breakfast. Keep rounds in these
Yo, shout out to everybody out there who's watching this. Subscribe to the channel. He's doing big things. My man Cammy. It's your man Cass, aka Angry Fan Man. We up out of here, man.
What's good? We are here. Now you might have noticed I let the recap breathe, and what I mean by that is I didn't, like, as much as I had like the Nuzlocke videos coming out, I didn't add another video on top to then go, because I've been pretty consistent with the video uploads and different discussions and whatnot, but I let that recap breathe because one of the things I want to talk about for today is where do we go from here? You know, there's now we're in a world where we've had Gemini versus Shotty Horror. Instead of being the one battle that we wanted for 8, 9, 10 years, we're past that point now. Where do we go? Start off with Premier Battles. Premier Battles, they just had a big announcement that they just sort of, that Trubs just, I don't know if Trubs was supposed to say it. I don't know if Trubs was actually supposed to say this, but they're bringing back money incentives. They're bringing back money incentives, performance of the night. People, performance of the night is coming back. Huge. Like, if I totally understand, I think Premier Battles are pretty, like, they do earn money from the events, like, not much at all, but they do earn it, but they don't take any themselves. What they're pretty good at is holding the money and putting it all back in. So when I say they earn money, like, I think there was a whole thing before when they had, like, I think in a year there was like 56 grand spent, but that's like I was on so much different things, and they had a big year for different battles and whatnot. But that was a while ago. But I whether we get that now or it's been a bit cheaper or whatever, but they do earn money. They just don't. They keep it to then put back into the product to extend it further. So we've had Shotty Horror versus Gemini. We've had a big tournament. Where do they go? Performance of the night incentive, fucking brilliant. That's a great start to wherever we go. it's a performance of the night incentive. When it comes to the next battles that happen, that's the sort of thing that keeps a DeBurk in battle rap. So DeBurk has actively said, even though he's the winner with the belt and all that, that he likes the competition and he doesn't want to be just one of the battlers that battles for the sake of it. He wants it competitive. And there we go. To keep someone like DeBurk interested in the best possible him, incentives to be the best of the entire card. It's another level of accolade to add to a battler. And let's say I've had 3 performances of the night. That puts them over, you know. And we get I'm very excited to see it. I wonder what the next mega matchup is. That Premier Battles got planned. I keep throwing this out there. I am almost positive there was conversations of Los Prem and Hamel. If that's on the forefront, fucking get that done ASAP. I just, you know, I felt it here. I felt like here. He was doing all the interview and he was the gunner, and then they had Georgie Roots and like Hamel, Pagan. I don't want to say push them to the moon, but I want to say let's get them in the muck now. Let's get them in, not with the jobbers, but let's get them in with the tough talent, the ones that are hard to beat, you know. And there's a good pool of battlers that are just like the kind of adjacent to Premier Battles almost. The kind of the freelancers that can kind of go anywhere and wherever they're comfortable with. And you know, let's get these guys in the muck. Let's get B Ramble back. I'm assuming everyone's gonna want, like, for B Ramble versus Pamphlet, like someone the stylistically that kind of works with B Ramble. Let's get Horror back. Let's get a lot of these guys back in. And we now, because we've found about 4 or 5 different really good battle rappers through this whole tournament situation. So we need to push them further. Like even beyond. Like beyond. Christ, if there's anyone for beyond right now, I know I'd throw. I mean, this isn't me disrespectful or anything like that, and I love this man to death. Even at Beyond versus Carlton Shanks, like, that would be a good battle. That'd be a battle, and that's an interest. It's a step up for Beyond for sure, but it's also I go, well, not quite the golden goose, but someone. Oh, they're putting me against someone. I've just battled Yunnan, and they're putting me against someone. They must have faith in him. Let me kill him. Like, I could see that being a quite a good battle, but I just want to see this new level of guys that were in the tournament move up a level. That's the main thing. They're no doubt going to be pushing the on beat stuff. Is it just me throwing it out there? Is Pen Game sort of, like, I'm going to use Gen Z language, is Pen Game losing aura? Like 2024 Pen Game was just wrecking shop. Like it was everything banged. Like everything was landing. Everything, you couldn't go wrong with Pen Game at that point. I don't think there's the same energy for Pen Game anymore. Like which you know, did we catch lightning in a flame? I see that Morgs has gone over to do other things. Like he's been featured on like the Charlie Sloth's Fire in the Booth, and I see that he's kind of diversifying himself. Is that because Pen Game is not nearing the end, but is it losing momentum? So because clue to the on beat stuff is partly because it's popping in the UK. There's no denying that. Are we past that now? I mean, I imagine the production quality, if it's anything like the Shotty Horror in Gemini Battle. By the way, please watch that battle. That battle is beautiful. It's one of the prettiest battles. You know, that's a Megan Fox looking battle, to be honest. Like the way it, like Megan Fox Transformers, that's what that shit is looking. Oh, it's perfect, right? And when it comes to, I got distracted by Megan Fox there. Like when it comes to the on beat stuff, and I know the production quality that Briggsy will provide and the whole team will provide, are we past that point? Are we are we going into a void that isn't? Are we just taking from less of a fan base, or how do we reinvigorate it? Because, you know, King of the Dot did the beatdown, and the beatdown done well for. Actually, did the beatdown do that well? Like, in comparison, because I think the Candy battle, Candy and Arsenal is so far, I think it's sitting pretty at 80k, where Candy normally gets about 500, 600k, and, you know, Arsenal's Arsenal. I would have expected that to be near 250,000. But again, that's pie in the sky thinking. YouTube's algorithm is fucked, so don't worry about that. But is these even Ren? I know Ren was just on Britain's Got Talent. Is that the moment? Just to throw while I'm yapping, is Pen Game is Ren the MC giving a produced, I want to say fake, but kind of giving the Britain's Got Talent version of Pen Game of rap dissing? Has that made that uncool? Because that's a possibility. You know, it's like Fortnite's cool until your dad plays it. You know, Fortnite's cool until the man. You know, battle rap is cool until until you know the establishment. Let's say I'm not that kind of thinker really, but has it become uncool? And is that why there's a little loss in momentum? Now, truth be told, if you go on Rap Verdict, by the way, salute J Black, check rapverdict.com. It's a really good, it's the logical progression for Verse Tracker. Most of the highest viewed UK battles are from Pen Game. Like, there's like, I'll have to check the Shotty Horror Gemini one now, but like the top 10 was Pen Game, but it wasn't million views. So I might be wrong now, and I'll put a little letters note otherwise, but from when I last checked it about a week or two ago, wasn't there. So I'm excited to see that, like where Premier Battles goes with the on beat stuff. I just wonder if it's too late. The last thing, and it was again another fleeting term, la-di-da-di-da. Briggsy put out a tweet saying that Premier, like, looking for 3 to 5, but signed for 3 to 5 battles. Signed? This is exclusivity contracts. Are we building contracts now? Like I think they did a film signing contracts because something happened with a battle rapper, and they I don't know if they tried to claim or something, or there was like a consent. It was stupid, right? So I remember being at the filming for Premier Battles in September, and they got everyone to sign contracts on the day. Are we going forward with contracts? What was dope to see, while I remember this, what was dope to see was in the comments, whatever, like in the thread, it was Paris from the Loose Chat who'd seen the term signed and went, "This sounds like you're taking over battle rap." And all Trubs did was, let's take a phone call, let's talk about it. And obviously time goes on, and then Trubs is on the thread. Does it sound like we're all working together? 2 eyes, or whatever he said. He said something like that. Paris was like, yes. So like, whatever is planned, it's including everything. And I love that. I love that. This is, whether it is No Loose Chat is a division or whatever, or, you know, there's the Manchester division, however they want to work this out with the conversation, like, they've clearly had a conversation. If they're working something out together, I fucking love that. So, like, considering where I thought I was right after the battle happened with Gemini and Shotty Horror, I'm more excited now, catching the little footsteps of what could possibly happen for Premier Battles. So I don't actually know what's happening, but everything I'm sniffing out seems pretty good. So let's talk Shotty Horror, right? As we're aware, Shotty Horror won the big prize. He is now the champion. He is out here. What was it? He's the NWO now, the New World Order. Like, I guess he's the Hulk Hogan. Is Bobby Razor Ramon and the Burke Kev Nash. Like who's who? That's what I'd assume if you were to tell me who was who. But now Shotty Horror is the champion. Now what the fuck does Shotty Horror do? Being the champion of the UK, where does he go? Like, there's a title match at some point. Who takes that? Is it the Burke? Does the Burke get that title match next? And how does that look? You know, like, I said this before, I think a cash-in system would be fucking great. Like, if we had a little We're Winning Matters briefcase and just be like, okay, I'm cashing it in, or like a contract with a clipboard, and you wave it and saying this is happening right now, add a theatric to it, you know what I mean, like, and just surprise everyone. That would be insane, especially a Shotty Horror battle. But is that what we're going to get next? That, I think that's still to be discussed with Premier Battles and how they operate this, because that's a fucking huge look for the Burke if he gets a title match with Shotty Horror. That's huge. And that is something that so many battle rappers want. And if anything, he won it and deserves it. And that might be just too huge of a task. Like, a new guy, 3 years in the game, and gets that Shotty Horror in the title match, the first defense. Fucking hell, the pressure. Well, if anything, there's probably no pressure for the Burke, because it's like, well, either I don't win and nothing changes, or I win and I've just beat Shotty Horror in the title match and become the best, the top guy in the UK. Like, it's actually no pressure at all. It's just go do you, the Burke. But it's an interesting thought. Is that the first title match, or are we going to hold on to that? Because there's a few matches to throw out there that would be quite interesting. Obviously, the Quill matchup. And I think that's going to be, at this point, top 2 demanded for. Maybe I think next on the chopping block would be for a title defense, if it's not the Burke for the contractual reasons or whatever their script is. I think Quill's probably the leading man. And that's if Quill is battling. Quill kind of just chopping and changing where he is on battle rap right now. I love the man. This is a great opportunity for him. I think I tried to get a little, like Quill was like, oh yeah, me and Shotty were talking, we'll have a little chit chat and we'll put on the thing. And then Shotty was like on a phone with his mother and all that, and I wasn't wanting to disturb him, like he was to do a little face off. He's on a call with his mother. I wish I could do that every day. And so and I just let him do his thing. But that was a conversation that we were going to have, just to kind of add a little flame to a fire. But, you know, of course Quill's going to take the Shotty Horror battle, and I'm sure Shotty Horror will take that battle too. I'm sure he will. I'm sure, like, for, like, this, what is great is Shotty Horror can go on this UK gauntlet. Kind of like the gauntlet that Gemini went on to become the champion. And it's like basically, positionally, because I'll talk about Gemini as well, they swapped. They have swapped positions. Like, now Gemini is a quote-unquote free man. If he is good in Germany, go back. I'll get to him. I'll get to him. We're sticking with Shotty Horror just now. Like, we could have the Quill battle. We could have, like, if Arc was committed, Shotty Horror versus Arc. Shotty Horror versus Rivers. Shotty Horror versus Frankie Fraser. He could go through the entire South. He could, even if he takes one person from each of the sides, the North, South, East, West, if he has to take the belt and take on RX Southside, like, that would be fucking insane. But going into someone else's territory, like the WCW invasion, like going in their end, putting your belt on the line would be insane. Like, even, who else? Like, he's not going to battle Bizzo. He's not going to battle Bobby. Like, that's a given. Is there anyone in the North? You know, I think you start going, Hamill. Anyone else in the North that's kind of like that? Kind of Koji's not really in the game right now. Raptor, he's probably not going to battle Raptor. There've got to be some other people from the North that are, like, up there. If Soul returns, if there's anyone that's between Shotty Horror or Thesaurus, these are the guys that I think Soul would consider coming back for. Fuck around and find out. insane pool and be like, bring back Soul for a title match. That would blow my fucking mind. But if not that, I think people, there's a lot of conversations when it comes to the title and whatnot, and what, like, because what you also can do, and as exciting as this is, you could have Shotty Horror battling in International for the title. Sounds really exciting. Let's say Shotty Horror versus A-Ward, or, well, we've had Shotty and Jonas. Shotty Horror versus Real Sick, because Real Sick has come through the UK twice and landed fucking insane performances both times. That Shotty Horror versus Real Sick in the Steel Yard. Like, I think Shotty would win, but that's like 55-45%. Like, I wouldn't put a bet on that. And the way that I put a bet on Shotty and K-Shine, I would not put a bet on that because Real Sick is a 1 of 1, just like Shotty Horror. I think Shotty would win, but if you do that, it's risky. And what happens after that? Let's say Sick wins. Sick, you actually could rely on coming back and facing someone from the UK for it, even if it is Sick versus Bizzle again, or Sick versus DeBark, Sick versus Hamill, Sick versus Pagan, Sick versus Ark. Like Real Sick is someone that Real Sick versus Quill. He's someone that a lot of people would want to battle. But problem with that is, isn't that the purpose of Bobby Rex's title? Isn't that the purpose? Like, isn't Bobby Rex's title the title that's supposed to do that? Does that serve its purpose? If you want to go on that angle, do you just go swap the titles? Or, like, and say, right, this is the international one because Shotty Horror's going to go battle all these places with it. This is the ingrown UK one, and we get Bobby Rex versus Ark. You kind of usurp it? Like, it's... That's a difficult conversation to have, or a difficult one to sell. Or do we then get, does this put a stick in for Bobby to then have a matchup there, even if it's Slim Buck? Because Slim Buck probably deserves a title match. Whether it's a Slim Buck or it is that international, like Holmesy the God. Like Bobby and Holmesy were supposed to battle at one point. How about that? Like, you know, and that could be your international. He has the belt and puts the title on the line, you know, and the belt comes with communication for Premier Battles. And okay, at some point, whoever has the belt and a year's Robin, because what they could do is, even if they hopscotch the belt, like international, like let's say Holmesy beats Bobby Rex and gets it, fucks off back to America, goes on Gates of the Garden, loses to Bandit Montana. Inadvertently, Bandit Montana now has the belt. Bandit Montana battles Ryder. Let's say Ryder comes back. Oh, now Ryder has the belt. And it's one of these things that once a year, whoever is the champion at the time, they come to the UK to then face someone from the UK for that belt. And they could kind of round robin it and be like, for a title, and all these little leagues now have a title match with the promise of, at the end of the year, plug 6, you come back here. That could work, but that requires basically, and it would also open connections with Premier Battles and other leagues, Gate to the Garden and the league that had the Rock Royal Rumble and all these. It would open connections, right? But that was the purpose of the Bobby Rex belt. And if we do this with Shotty Horror, what would be the purpose of Bobby Rex's belt? That would be the only problem. But that would be a conversation to be had. That's not for me to speculate or whatever works. Because if they want to do that, if they want to have Shotty Horror, A-Ward, insane. Real Sick, insane. Even Shotty and Sharon, like the little history there with insane, great. But so would Bobby Rex and Real Sick, Bobby Rex and A-Ward, Bobby Rex and Sharon. They would be great battles too. So it's a funny one and how they operate that one, but that's a little question mark. You'll see that backwards. Hold on. That's a little question mark to see, and something for a discussion to be had on how that works. But if not, you could literally have Shotty Horror going on this UK gauntlet, and that would be quite exciting. Just whatever, going for a place to, like, even if he does claim region, and to talk back to wrestling, kind of be like how the World Wrestling Federation just took over the spot and be all right, I'm the king of South London. Let me go to North London now. I'll take on Arc. Let me go West London, take on Whispers. I don't even know who's at East London. Rivers, I think. I'm sure someone East London, right? Claim them like someone from the east side. Okay, I've conquered London. Now I make my way up. And makes your way up, and you go to Newcastle, you battle Maverick, take on Maverick, then you go from Maverick up to fucking Fife for Seoul, or whatever, Glasgow for Seoul, and you go from there, and you kind of Game of Thrones it. Like, the UK gauntlet would be very interesting, but there's little questions to it all, and I'd be excited to see where Premier Battles goes with it, but I know, there's so many good matchups for Shotty Horror that he hasn't battled. He said on a Spaces, I think he's only had about 24, 25 battles. So there's a lot of room. There's a lot of wiggle room, and considering the amount of internationals he's battled, there's a lot of wiggle room there to battle a lot of different people and make it really exciting. And Gemini, the other person here. Gemini is a free man now. What do we do with Gemini? Like, Gemini had the title for 2 years, and truth be told, and not entirely his fault, like, didn't really face anyone for it, because for whatever reason they were trying to set the Shotty Horror, that fell apart, and there really couldn't have been many people up for that championship. I would argue Sean Cray, I would argue Frankie Fraser, I would argue other people. The Gem Battle arc, throughout this run, did he battle Arc? I can't remember. I feel like I would argue that as well. Like, there were people that he could have battled on the way up the Shotty Horror, but that's also because they had a plan, changed it, and they moved things around, and then Gemini's been super busy. But now he's a free man. Them battles I've just said would be interesting. They would be interesting, and we can even get that Gemini Maverick. Like, there's still other people that have come since he's been the champion, since he's been back in battle rap that he could take. But if I was Gemini, I'd see what Gemini's saying again. I know he has his circumstances, but see what Gemini's saying. Go in and be like, okay, Gemini, like, could we get Tay-Rock? If we could get Disaster, could we get Tay-Rock? Could we get Twerk? Could we get, like what else can Germany do for Gemini, especially now that he can somewhat travel, and Don't Let the Label You seems to have quite a lot of money to them. Like, what can they do for Gemini that Gemini wouldn't have been able to do otherwise? Do we get Danny Myers? Do we get, like, that would be protocol. Let's just see what they can do. Let's see how we work this out and get these battles and all the stuff. If I have to take a little pay cut or whatever to then get the experience of Germany again and the opponent, like, how does that work? But there's one battle. It hinted a little bit in the Shotty Horror battle. It was hinted a little bit. And I seen a man that was there that maybe, I'm not a pot stirred here. Obviously, he was giving, I know he was giving great reactions for everyone, so I'm not, this is kayfabe, okay? Kayfabe. But he definitely was, there was a camera shot of him reacting to Shotty Horror, but there wasn't a camera shot of him reacting to Gemini. Obviously, he was reacting to Gemini. They're really close and all that stuff. But, why can we not start having Tony D versus Gemini talks? I said this a year ago, and not that I got laughed at, but it was like, that's odd. Now that Gemini's a free man, you can't tell me that a Gemini versus Tony D's 50th battle, he said he'd do a 50th at 50. His 50th battle is against his nephew. That's not actually his nephew, but, like, it's Uncle Tone and his nephew Navid, or Gemini. Does that not interest you a little bit? Like, just the little dime drop of Shotty Horror saying you were using Tony D then left him. How does Tony D feel about that? But Gemini is a man who he went through the gauntlet of UK battle rap just like Tony did. Beat them all just like Tony did. The one difference, Gemini beat Soul and Tony beat Shotty Horror. That was the consensus going out of this. So what? That's the only difference. Both became champions. Gemini became the double champion. And Tony D only retired the belt because he didn't have anyone else to battle. And he was going to retire, so he just went, I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. The uncle-nephew battle, does that not excite you? Excites me. That's a storyline waiting to happen. Like how does London respond? How does London Gen respond if that gets booked? You know, like how does London feel? Does it split London apart? The people that have Gemini winning versus the people that have Tony D winning? Like how do they respond to it? Like the dynamic will be so interesting. And how do they attack each other? Obviously, it's going to be very much a rap contest, but you know, Gemini does go for the throat. He attacks people. He fucking attacks Shotty Horror on many fucking levels. You don't think he'll do that to Uncle Tone on his 50th birthday battle? Come on now. That, for me, if as a legacy battle, I'm going to put that out there. That might be his last legacy battle. You could throw in Gemini, Lunar Sea, whatever. Gemini Tony D is and I'll push it as well. That's the next battle to see. Shotty Horror can battle anyone in the UK gauntlet. Shotty Horror, we love Shotty Horror battles. We know that. But if there's one battle to see, the next big battle, unless Shotty Horror decides to rematch Tony D, or you know what I mean, or rematch as someone of a big caliber in the UK. The next big UK. Oh, well, let me put this as a question for the people. What would be a bigger UK versus UK battle? Shotty Horror versus Quill, Gemini versus Tony D. I think it's quite close. I do think it's close. Like even Bizzle versus Quill. Like, you could throw that. Like, you could do Bizzle, Quill. Like, okay, you beat Bizzle, then you get the title shot. Some shit like that. I don't know. And if he does, put the stakes in it, you know? Like, but what battle is bigger? Shotty Horror versus Quill, Tony D versus Gemini. Yeah, I just think it'd be interesting. Well, thank you so much for watching the video. As I said, this will be out on Wednesday. On Saturday, my Nuzlocke, it finishes. I spent months doing it. We are here this Saturday, 7 PM. I'll probably do the Nuzlocke for around 8 PM. I want to do that little voice thing. You know, the thing that's like you whatever scene and you have to like reenact it. I want to do that for an hour first and then do it and then just have some funny audio sounds or whatever. But whether we do that or not is a different thing. But 7 PM the stream goes live. Us shooting the shit and then finishing off the Nuzlocke. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, all the good stuff. If there are more content, I will catch you soon. Peace. I feel just how you feel tonight. Let me do what I can do.